Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to another exciting edition of WHHS Channel 96 Sports. I'm Tyler Camiotti.
And I'm Logan Repko.
And for tonight's contest, we have your 22-1 Harvey Red Raiders taking on the 20-3 Lakeview Bulldogs in the district final tournament game.
That's right, Tyler. The stands are packed on both sides. This is standing room only, folks. This is a great game, and everybody turned out to watch it.
And Logan is not joking. Madison has, their gymnasium seats much more than Harvey's does, and it's packed to capacity. There's maybe room for about 4 more people, and people are still coming in the door. This place, it's going to be sold out. I'm pretty sure it's already sold out. We have people out in the cafeteria, and there's just no room in here in the stands.
Just to pre-warn, the fans will probably be interfering with our camera work at several points during this game. We're doing our best to restrain them from getting in front of our cameramen. But again, it is a capacity situation, right, and there may be a couple incidents where they get in the way.
Right. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. That's going down on the floor right now. For the visiting, Lakeview is the home team on the scoreboard tonight wearing the white jerseys. For the Lakeview Bulldogs, we have number 5, 6'1" senior Mike Frangemore, number 10, 6'1" senior Alex Koltsov, number 20, 6'3" senior Trevor Matthews, number 22, 5'10" sophomore Dustin Opalka, and number 44, 6'4" senior Matt Pitlick.
And for your Harvey Red Raiders, we have number 20, Morgan Lewis. He's a senior. Number 21, Andrew Booth. He's also a senior. Number 22, Scott Aston, a sophomore. We have number 32,
Julian Mangano. And Phil Rogers, who has not participated in the starting lineup all season. This is a first in our broadcast, folks. Right.
Phil Rogers will be starting.
Yeah, Rogers, of course, stepping up to fill the gap left by Chris Crawford. Crawford went down in our last game with an injury to his knee, and he will certainly be sorely missed. He was a vital player on the boards, and it's a big spot to fill for Phil Rogers.
That's right, but stepping into the shoes of a 6'6" man is another 6'6" man. He certainly doesn't lack the height. Maybe he doesn't have the experience, but very capable of stepping up in Chris Crawford's shoes. Right.
Rogers will be taking the jump ball tonight. It's projected. That, of course, was Chris Crawford's position the whole season. So I've had a few chances to talk with Chris since his injury the other night. That was Wednesday night against who did we have Wednesday night?
I'm sorry. We had Kenston.
We had
Bombers.
the Kenston Bombers. How could I forget? It was such a phenomenal victory. Just slipped my mind right there. But Crawford went down in that game. I've had a few chances to speak with him. He's really down that he's missing this much of the season, but he's really happy of how the guys stepped up the other night, and he's optimistic that they're going to carry it through tonight.
That's right. I don't know what else to say. I was going to talk about the fans, but there's nothing else to say. It's capacity. People that never come to these games are coming out. There's got to be over 2,000 people in this crowd, I imagine.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Both teams with a very healthy cheering section. I'd venture to say that the Raiders have a little bit more, though. I think a bus came out from Harvey High School tonight.
That's right. We've been trying to get that all season. They finally did that. I don't know if we win. Are they going to continue to do that? We're not really sure, but we stands are out here hoping that the Raiders will continue their successful streak on their way to states, hopefully.
That's right. High school students, pay careful attention. There will be announcements on, providing the Raiders prevail tonight. And, I'm sure that they'd love to have just tremendous fan support further in the season.
That's right. Wow, and about to get underway now. Players are coming onto the court. Raiders still in the huddle, but the Bulldogs are ready to go, so we'll see some action pretty soon now.
Right, certainly the Raiders have had to re-strategize a bit with the loss of Chris Crawford, but we've got the great coaching staff and players that learn so quickly, and they've got the athletic ability. I don't think that it's going to be such a huge problem. Obviously, we'd still love to have Chris Crawford, but I'm very optimistic that Rogers and among other people are going to be able to step up and at least begin to fill the gap.
Yeah, speaking size-wise, the Raiders have a definite advantage. They didn't have that much of an advantage against Kinston, but they will go back to their kind of status quo of being bigger than the other team.
Right, the tallest player on the Bulldogs is Jesse Smeedy, and he's not even starting. Their tallest starter is the 6'4" Matt Pitlick. And Lakeview wins the tip. Number 10, Alex Koltsov with the ball. Koltsov dribbling around up top. Swings it over to number 20. Now Opalka with the ball on the wing. Matthew Opalka facing Scott Aston. Raiders playing nice defense.
Yeah, nice tight zone.
Matthews.
Right. Yeah. 7.5 minutes on the clock. Bulldogs have held it for half a minute already.
Ball's kicked into a travel called. That was on Alex Koltsov as he was taking the ball to the hole. Red Raiders have possession here. 7:20 left in the first quarter. Aston over to Mangano. Mangano dribbling inside. Mangano in the lane, kicks it out to Aston. Aston over to Booth. Booth pump fakes, dumps into Lewis. Lewis just inside the three-point line in the corner. Up to Booth. Booth into the lane. Gets it stripped by Opalka. Opalka taking it the length. Gets stripped by Aston.
There we go.
Aston fakes the pass. Foul on the floor by the Bulldogs.
So good fake by Aston right there. Nobody expected him to hold the ball. They've seen that alley-oop way too many times.
Right.
Aston did take the shot. Nice shot. Unfortunately, he could not convert. 6:49 on the clock, first period.
Deep pass into Aston. Aston swings it over to Lewis on the wing. Lewis up top to Booth. Booth to Aston. Down into Mangano on the wing. Still scoreless. Mangano penetrating inside in the paint. Shot good!
6:28, 2-0 Raiders.
And number 20, Trevor Matthews, answers that. No one really looking for that pass, either Mangano or Booth. Sails out of bounds.
I believe the pass was intended for Booth. He could have caught it had he been looking.
Koltsov pushing down. And number 22, Dustin Opalka, takes it to the hole.
It's 4-2 now, under 6 minutes, 5:57 remaining in the first quarter. And I got to tell you folks, it is hot in this gym.
Yeah, it is. You know, all these bodies. Lewis triggered for three long. Fouled.
He'll be getting 3.
They're ruling that it was on the floor, so he'll be inbounding from the sideline.
Brief stoppage in timeout, but we're ready to go now.
Aston with the ball up top. Over to Mangano. Mangano just inside the three-point line. Steps out to Rogers. Lewis dumps it into Booth. Booth up, glass, no good. Rebounded by Frangemore.
Still 4-2 now, 5.5 minutes in the first period.
Three ball good from Dustin Opalka. New face on the floor for the Bulldogs is number 25, Eddie Makowicz. Lewis with the inside jumper, good! Raiders down by 3, 7-4, 5:04 left in the first here at Madison High School.
And this isn't something on the part of Phil Rogers, but I'm sensing a hesitance on the players to kind of pass it to him.
Yeah, well, you know, perhaps he's got to, you know, prove his abilities in game situations. He hasn't seen a tremendous amount of playing time this year. And Jeff Spikes checking in for Phil Rogers.
Yeah, I think it's just got to do with he's not cohesive with the rest of the team. It's hard to step in this late in the season and really, you know, be fully cohesive with the rest of the team. But he definitely has a talent to come in and fill in for Chris Crawford.
Oh, yeah.
7-4 is on the clock. 7-4 is the score. 4:54 in the first quarter.
Referees conferring at half court. Not sure what they're deliberating, but Harvey will have possession.
And there is no real indication from the refs. He just goes over to talk to Cortland's coach, so obviously some warning or something right there.
Lakeview set up in a 2-3 zone. But dropping into a man. Lewis for three. No good. Spikes with the rebound in the basket. Makowicz with the ball on the wing. Up top to Koltsov. Koltsov loses the ball off the hands of the Raiders, out of bounds. Yeah. Checking in for the Bulldogs, number 20, Trevor Matthews, and number 33, Mark Seeger.
Joe Spice got lucky on that last play. He was beat off the baseline, but he managed to strip the ball, so no foul.
And a travel called right there. Number 5, Mike Frangemore, trying to go up against Spikes. Spikes doing a very nice job, just standing straight up right there. In our last game, Spikes, you know, he got a hit a few times. Fouls just standing straight up. The referees saw some foul somewhere. Aston trigger for three. No good. High bounce into the hands of number 20, Trevor Matthews. Koltsov pushing down. And denied by Morgan Lewis. That was Mark Seeger.
And just to recap, Cortland Lakeview was unseeded coming into this tournament. Right. They weren't really expected to win by a lot of people, but you know, they knocked off a lot of opponents along the way, and they're kind of in a Cinderella story right now.
Right, this is their third matchup against a seeded team. So they've already seen two in this tournament.
I mean, the record was 20-3. They obviously believed they could win, but they didn't get a seed, so they knocked off a lot of strong opponents. They knocked off
Edgewood and then West G. Edgewood was the number 1 seed, and West G was the number 3 seed. We're sandwiched right in between the two of them at number 2. Koltsov over to Matthews. Matthews on the wing.
3.5 minutes now. It's 7-6. Your Raiders are still behind by a point.
Koltsov. Up to Matthews. And pass intended for Makowicz.
Off the hands of Andrew Booth, unfortunately, because there was not a
there was nobody from Lakeview there for it. Unfortunately, we were situated on the Lakeview side of the stage here at Madison High School, so you're going to be hearing mostly Lakeview cheers. Aston's alley-oop pass to Morgan Lewis, pretty far off.
You're going to have to attribute that to pressure right there, because we've seen him do that 100 times during the regular season, or at least 10. We've seen him do that a lot.
A lot. Koltsov coming down court.
Scott Aston, though, he plays his heart out, so he gains a lot of admiration from his teammates.
Another block from Morgan Lewis. That one on Trevor Matthews.
2:46 remains in the first quarter, 7-6.
Aston's pass down into Booth, picked off by Lakeview. Koltsov pushing. Down into Frangemore. Frangemore underneath the hole. Rebound by Spikes. And some sloppy passes from the Raiders right here in succession. Mangano with the inside jumper, no good. Raiders jump shooting, just not working for him tonight.
So the scoring drought continues. It's still 7-6, 2:17 in the first period.
Koltsov down into Opalka. Up to Frangemore. Frangemore inside. Dishing into number 44, Matt Pitlick. And he's fouled on the shot, going to the line. Raiders down by 1, 7-6, 2:02 left in the first.
That'll be the first foul of the night on Jeff Spikes and the first team foul.
You know, as I was looking around before the game started tonight, I saw they already have the ladder out and ready. The winning team of this game will get to cut down the nets winning this tournament.
The Raiders have already cut one of their own this season when they won the NEC for the first time since the 80s, so that was a really big accomplishment right there.
This is the second time that in 2 years that the Raiders have made it to the district finals. Last year they got knocked off by West G with the help of 6'10" Rob Skuski.
West G continued a nice run after that, though. They went pretty far in sections.
They went a few rounds deep in regionals, I know that.
I'm sorry, regionals.
Lewis 3-ball good!
9-8 now as a couple of quick buckets are exchanged. Lewis is on the board for the first time.
Number 32, Albert, on the floor for the Bulldogs. Opalka gives off to Matthews. Opalka again with it. Oh, I'm sorry, Koltsov.
As is very evident, Cortland liking to use a strategy that's worked to some degree against the Raiders this year of just stalling out the ball. Teams haven't won a lot with it, but they've made the scores a lot closer than other running teams.
Well, yeah, look at Conneaut. They played them in the second round of the tournament. Conneaut just held the ball, and when they were getting blown out by the Raiders by 30 or more twice in the season, and they only were defeated by 10 here in the postseason, it's an effective strategy.
48 seconds on the clock, and time just continues to tick. Nice steal right there by Jeff Spikes.
That was just kind of a look what I found. Didn't have to do a whole lot for it, just reached out and picked it up. Whistle blown. Block called on Aston. Aston's first of the night.
Cortland keeping a very strong rotation of players, just 7 or 8 guys that keep rotating in and out.
Yeah, and now we're seeing David Alston check in for the Raiders. He spent a lot of time on the junior varsity team. They brought him up to varsity for the last game of the season against Fairport. This is the first time we've seen him in the postseason, however.
Let's see what he can do.
Yeah. His brother Kevin was on the team last year. Just a lot of athletic ability.
He's playing like a guy that wants to get time next year. Look at him. He's hounding this man, number 22.
Well, yeah, I mean, he really recognizes that this is really a shot to show what he can do. He's smart. He's going to take advantage of it. Whistle blown.
Foul will be called on either Lewis or Alston. Yeah, that will be on Alston. I think he was a little overeager there. Pushed through what do you call that? I'm sorry.
Pick?
A pick, gosh. Pushed through a pick.
Koltsov down into Frangimore. Frangimore bucket good, and he's fouled going to the line.
So with 1.8 seconds, Cortland scores. It's 10-9 now in favor of the Bulldogs. Salson comes in and picks up a couple of quick fouls. Not the debut he had been looking for, obviously. And I'm sure we'll be seeing him coming out very soon. In the second quarter.
Frangimore hits his free throw, pushing the Dogs up by 2. This is the first time that the Raiders have been dressed in there. Oh, and close shot from Morgan Lewis. This is the first time that the Raiders have been dressed in their away uniforms in the postseason. They went through all of the first 3 games wearing their white jerseys, as was the case last year. They wore their white jerseys the whole way through, and then finally in that last game they had to switch jerseys, switch the bench, and maybe that's one of the things that threw them off. Hopefully it won't affect them at all this year.
Yeah, if you believe in luck, It could be a bad sign, but I don't think the Raiders are going to disregard luck and just win this one.
Right. Coach Hartman, you see him there in the gray shirt in the back of the huddle. He's got some superstition. He wears the same outfit for every big game day. So, that's just some coach's superstition. While we have a break in the action here in between the first and second quarter, let's take a look at our sponsors. First, we have Mike Rowan Concrete.
Next is Fisher Building and Interiors.
Flame and Grill on Menor Avenue.
Followed by Convenient.
A Classic Florist.
Next is Palutro Insurance.
Scores Fun Center and Lasertron.
And Silvestro's Depot Cafe. You all know the catchphrase for great food, make it Silvestro's.
Cortland has possession.
(11-9), and David Alston is, of course, off the floor. You have a team of Julian Mangano, Jeff Spikes, Morgan Lewis, Scott Aston, and Andrew Booth on the floor.
Trevor Matthews checking in for Dustin Opolka for the Bulldogs. Aston with the ball up top over to Lewis on the wing. Down into Spikes. Spikes loses it. Frangemore picked it off. Koltsov, long pass down court. And Aston hauls down the rebound, pushing. Stops from a free throw line. Off back iron with his own rebounds. Took a shot right there to the face, it looked like.
And it looked like he had Jeff Spikes open under the basket. Kind of interesting. Usually you'll see him pass that. He is all about the assist, but he elected to take the shot that time.
He's been doing that a little bit more in the postseason.
Which I think next year they're going to need as he's one of the team leaders.
Right. Lewis with the long jumper. No good.
Just kind of interesting to see him make that change when it's been working so well this season.
Right. Shot up by Lakeview. Ball on the ground. And out of bounds against the Dogs. It's coming Harvey's way. Raiders down by 2. 11-9, 7:07 left in the first half. Morgan Lewis with the ball on the wing, dumping into Spikes. Spikes up, glass, basket! And number 20, Trevor Matthews, successful in his drive to the basket.
13-11 for the Raiders, for the Bulldogs, 6:42 in the second period. Something to look at, as you see Jeff Spikes with the ball, is he's not going to have Chris Crawford to play in tune with. They're going to be relying on him a little bit more.
Right.
We haven't seen him play, a full game this season. It's going to be interesting to see how he'll be able to come through.
Right, Spikes has been primarily the sixth man as number 10, Alex Koltsov, drills the inside jumper.
So 15-11, a timeout is called by the Raiders. Just to finish the spot on Spikes, very good player, but he's going to see a lot more time tonight, and that could be a factor tonight.
It certainly could.
While we have a chance, why don't we take another look at our sponsors, the people who help us bring these broadcasts to you.
First, we have Mike Rowan Concrete, 919 Skinner.
Fisher Building and Interiors.
Flame and Grill on Menor Avenue.
Followed by Convenient, 43 West Walnut.
A Classic Florist.
Palutro Insurance, 161 North State Street.
Scores Fun Center and Lasertron.
And last we have Silvestro's Depot Cafe at 470 Railroad Street in Painesville, 354-3851. For great food, make it Silvestro's.
So not too many times have the Raiders been in this position, down 4, just into the second quarter. Still early in the game, nothing out of reach. But they're going to really have to, keep things even.
That's right. A lot of fans were expecting them to go pretty far this season. These teams are not going to back down,
no.
Even as early as the first round of the tournaments.
Right. As soon as you get into, especially the later half of the tournaments, teams are for real. They're the real deal, and it's not going to be any easy victories.
As a player, you always come out expecting to be facing the best, though, to be pushed to your limit. And these players are ready. They do very well. They have a lot of will to train on their own.
Andrew Booth over to Julian Mangano on the wing. Mangano looking to dump it into Spikes, picked off by Frangimore. Timeout called by Frangimore. Spikes playing intense defense.
Yeah, good job right there by Spikes.
Denying every passing lane.
Yeah.
30-second timeout.
14 fouls for Harvey Red Raiders and 3 for the Cortland Bulldogs. So neither team really deep into foul trouble. The score again is 15-11. The Bulldogs are in the lead.
Right. You know, this is another probably not the lowest scoring game that we've seen this season, but one of the lower scoring games. Often we're up into the mid to high 20s at this point, but
that's right.
Late in the tournament, both teams with good defense.
Yeah, half-court teams have given the Raiders fits all season. They've usually been able to come away with the win. Obviously, this is a team on another level.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see how they do down the stretch.
Koltzoff coming down against Mangano. Dishing it down to Frangimore. Frangimore kicking it inside. Opalka denied! Or I'm sorry, Matthews. That was Matthews getting his shot swatted. Mark Siegert checking out for the Bulldogs.
And we continue to see people file in here, trying to worm their way in somewhere. These stands are really packed. And back on the floor, they're inbound to number 10.
Koltzoff. Koltzoff in the paint. Shot. Banks it in.
17-11 now. These Bulldog fans are hungry for a win. Just as hungry as the Raiders are to come away and keep on winning.
Seems like every time the Bulldogs are penetrating inside the three-point line, they're scoring. They hit, I think, 1-3. But other than that, it's all been inside jumpers. Just like Morgan Lewis shows he can do right there.
Lewis coming up huge. He has 7 points already on the night.
You know what? I'm just going to shut up. Because right there, Lakeview drills a 3. As soon as I say that they haven't been doing it, what do they do but make me look silly? Mangano off to Lewis. Lewis on the wing, dumping it into Booth. Booth, paint. Shot no good, rebounded by Spikes. Spikes, bucket, foul, going to the line.
Spikes is playing big. He always plays big, but my God, he is keeping us in this game along with Morgan Lewis.
Strong rebounding right there from Spikes.
Yeah, if he hits this free throw, he and Morgan Lewis will both have 7 points on the night. 20-15 is the score right now. 4:54 remains in the half.
Spikes at the charity stripe.
As you can see on the bottom of your screen, a lot of fans giving the spirit fingers. They're doing that all over the gym.
Foul shot up. No good. Into the hands of Pitlick.
Terrible bounce for the Raiders. Bounced straight off the side of the rim.
Koltzoff into Pitlick. Pitlick up and good.
22-15 now. 4:34.
Biggest deficit of the night for the Raiders. Down by 7. Mangano penetrating the basket. Drive no good. Koltzoff pushing.
And the Bulldogs are doing a really good job of cutting off that last step to the basket. A lot of players are being forced out of position. Those are shots that they usually have a clear shot at. Bulldogs are playing very good defense right now.
Koltzoff gives off to Makowicz. Into Frangimore. Frangimore underneath the basket. Push called, foul on the floor by the Raiders.
So the second foul of the night on Jeff Spikes. This is huge. If he keeps getting in foul trouble, they're going to have to really rely on Phil Rogers. And then after him, people that haven't seen varsity time.
Right. Not any considerable amount anyways.
Right, yeah. Ian King is next on the list, and he's only seen a couple minutes this year. Another really tall guy, though.
Right, yeah.
In height.
King's, he's up there 6'5" or 6'6", I think. Lakeview shot no good. Pitlick going up off the bottom of the rim.
Under 4 minutes now, 3:52, 22-15.
Booth up top to Mangano. Lewis for 3. Rattles around, jumps out. And whistle blown, going Raiders' way.
Foul will be on number 5. That
Mike
is
Frangimore.
Yeah, Mike Frangimore.
His second, team 5th. Morgan Lewis will inbound from the baseline. Deep pass into Booth. Booth to Lewis. Lewis near the basket, hits the close jumper.
Lewis is coming up huge right now. That's his 8th and 9th points of the night.
Trigger from Makowicz, air ball. Followed up by Lakeview, no good, into the hands of Andrew Booth. Aston dribbling, kicks out to Lewis. Lewis going to the basket and lays it up with the finger roll, good.
That brings the fans to their feet. Everyone's standing up. That was a really nice play.
Oh, no. All right. Whew.
And the fans just drew their collective breath right there. Andrew Booth was on the floor for about a second. Looked like he hurt his knee, but he got right back up.
Any time a Raiders player is going down on the floor, everybody's just going to kind of, like you said, draw a breath. Because we saw what happened to Crawford, and we can't afford for that to happen to anyone else on our team. We just can't afford that. Booth is fine, though.
Yeah, 3:06 in the second period. 22-19, the Raiders have shaved the deficit 3.
Mick Rowan in the ball game. Aston faking the 3 over to Rowan. Lewis, long jumper, no good. Rebounded by number 20, Matthews. Gives off to Koltzoff. Matthews, shot no good. Hauled in by Aston. Aston pushing. Crossing up top. Lewis on the wing. Hands off to Rowan. Rowan long pass across to Booth. Aston buried in the corner.
Raiders in a combination you don't usually see. They're having to get creative to get people rest because Chris Crawford is not in here. Kind of throws off the whole rotation.
Right.
So you get the sense they're not totally cohesive right now.
Rogers loses the ball on the floor. But number 44, Matt Pitlick, steps on the line with the ball and stay in the Raiders' way.
Rogers took a beating under the hoop right there. 2 guys just sandwiched him. 2:04 in the second period. 22-19 is still the score.
5 team fouls apiece. Lewis with the ball inside the 3-point line. Booth on the wing. Up top to Aston. Aston calling the play.
Raiders standing around. You don't see this a lot. As I said, I think they're kind of disjointed right now. Rogers with the ball.
Rogers with an inside jumper, no good. Rowan fouled on the shot, lost his headband on that one.
Team captain Mick Rowan going up strong and drawing a foul. Last game, he missed a couple of foul shots when he had the chance. Kind of took some heat from that, from his calculus teacher, Mr. Dayton. I'm sure there's other people as well.
Yeah, I bet Mr. Dayton can dish it out.
Yeah, so I'm sure he's thinking about that right now. Minute 40 in the second period. 22-19, still the score. Rowan to shoot his second.
Rowan hits his second. Splits the pair. He's got 1 on the night. Brings the Raiders within 2. 22-20.
He's the only other person on the floor that scored. Both Julian Mangano and Jeff Spikes are on the bench. Lewis has 11. Rowan has 1 point.
All right. Koltzoff holding the ball. Gives off to Makowicz. Fires for 3. Drops it straight through.
25-20. Minute 8 now in the second period.
Aston swinging the ball around. Gets to Booth in the corner. Out to Rowan. And Rowan's pass a little too hard, too high. Off the hands of Scott Aston. Under a minute left here in the first half, Madison High School. Raiders down by 5.
Yeah, Raiders not playing especially well, but they're still right in the game right now.
Right.
They're getting it done. Just made a couple bad passes, but, you know, they're playing hard. And they're very talented.
Really, I think that's the thing that's the aspect that's plagued the Raiders the most tonight is their poor passing.
40 seconds.
Frangemore gives off to Makowicz. Koltsov.
Down to 30 seconds. Still 25-20. Very low scoring game.
Frangemore driving, no good. And Pitlick puts it up and in.
Yeah,
Bulldogs up 7, 27-20.
Rogers finally beat off the dribble on that one. 9 seconds left. 5 seconds.
Gano triggers for 3, no good. Rebounded by Lewis. Lewis up, no good. And at the end of the first half, Raiders down by 7, 27-20.
Strong performances from Lewis and Spikes. They're really keeping the Raiders in the game. They've accounted for 17 of the Raiders' 20 points. Rowan has 2. Rowan has 1. Nagano has 2. Just, you know, some poor passing, and they're feeling the absence of Chris Crawford at this point.
They really are. That's, you know, they're losing a lot of loose balls on the ground underneath the basket, and that's, you know, that's where Crawford got a lot of his points, picking up those balls, putting them up off the basket, and you know, that's where they're missing him right now.
Okay, well, while we have a chance, why don't we go and take a quick look at our sponsors.
We have Micro and Concrete at 919 Skinner Avenue.
Fisher Building and Interiors on 66 New Stark Street in Painesville.
Flame & Grill at 1444 Mentor Avenue.
Next is Convenient on 43 West Walnut Avenue.
A Classic Forest at 3825 Euclid Avenue.
Palucho Insurance, 161 North State Street.
Scores Fun Center and Lasertron at 65 Normandy Drive.
And rounding it out, we have Silvestro's Depot Cafe on 470 Railroad Street. For great food, make it Silvestro's.
It's halftime, district finals here at Madison High School. Your Red Raiders down by 7 to the Cortland Lakeview Bulldogs. Score is 27-20 in favor of Cortland. We're going to take a break, but stay tuned. We've got second half action just a bit away.
Red Raiders are in a bit of a rut. They're down 27-20, but they're looking to struggle back. I'm Logan Repko.
And I'm Tyler Camiotti.
And we're just in time for the inbound.
Winner of this game goes on to the regional tournament in Canton.
And people are still filing back into the gym. There's a good amount of people still left to come back. Still a huge amount of people in the stands.
Oh, yeah. Lewis with the ball on the wing. Loses it on the floor. Frangemore and Booth diving on it. Jump ball called. And it'll be Lakeview possession.
You didn't miss anything. Well, that man walked past your view. As I said, there'll just be, we've already had a couple times tonight, just people walking past. I know it's going to continue to plague us.
We'll do our best to keep the commentary going, though, so you really don't miss anything. Frangemore, shot no good. Body's up against Spikes, but that's like bodying up against a brick wall.
Yeah, if he would have gone in there with a little more authority, he could have drawn a foul, but he definitely got scared at the last second.
Mangano to Booth. Booth with the long jumper. On course, good!
We've been seeing him shoot more and more of those long-range shots. During the season, mid to short range, but he's just been pulling up from long distance.
Oh, yeah. Loop pass in, picked off by Booth. Lewis trucking down court. Lewis outside the three-point line. Long pass over to Mangano for three. Short. And Lewis can't save it from going out of bounds.
So with 6:52, the Red Raiders have cut into deficit by 2 points. 27-22 is the score.
Frangemore inbounds to Koltzoff. Pitlick out to now Frangemore with the ball. Frangemore stepping inside and into the paint, up off the glass. Good.
Red Raiders, they're getting dribble penetrated on this zone. This is not something you see a whole lot. And this isn't Phil Rogers stepping in. And this is 5 guys that have played well for them all season. They're just playing getting beat.
Mangano's shot no good. Frangemore pushing. Holds onto it. Up top to Koltzoff. And Pitlick again. Timeout called by the Raiders.
As well it should be. Right now the Raiders have no one to blame but themselves. He was wide open under the basket.
Yeah, they're just getting broken down on defense.
31-22 is the score. 6:06 remains in third period. While we have a chance, why don't we take a quick look at our sponsors?
First we have Micro and Concrete.
Fisher Building and Interiors.
Flame and Grill on Menor Avenue.
Convenient.
A Classic Florist.
Next is Palucho Insurance.
Scores Fun Center and Lasertron.
And Silvestro's Depot Cafe. You all know the motto. For great food, make it Silvestro's. So big thanks to our technical crew who reminds us not to get too involved in the game, and once in a while put a word in for our sponsors.
Booth inbounds to Aston.
31-22 again is the score. Now under 6 minutes, 5:59.
Lewis to Booth. Booth with the long jumper. No good off back iron. Rebounded by Koltzoff. Koltzoff kicks it out to Makowicz. Fires for three short. Rebounded by Frangemore. Frangemore in the paint. And he split 2 defenders and put it up and in.
Red Raiders are down by an 11-point deficit. They have not seen this since Edgewood, folks. This is huge. They're officially behind and struggling to catch up. 33-22 again.
Lewis for three. No good. Shooting just not falling for the Raiders tonight.
Got to give credit again on the defense. They're cutting the Raiders off. They're not giving things to the Raiders that they're usually getting. But again, they have gone cold. And here goes Morgan Lewis. Morgan
Lewis taking it to the hole and lays it up off the glass.
Very wise choice right there. He wanted to get the fans on their feet, but instead, he chose the 2 that would actually, he'd actually be able to score.
Makowicz shot no good. Out of bounds off Lewis.
It's 33-24, 4:53 in the third period. So already a very memorable tournament. The Raiders can come back. It will make it even more than memorable.
Oh, most definitely. Especially after that, they have 2 wins like that. Not sure it'd be quite as exciting as Kenston's was, but Scott Aston drilling the 17-footer as time expired, but in overtime nonetheless. But any comeback to get a victory is going to be a big game.
So that foul is called on Lewis. That's his first night. He's done well to stay out of foul trouble. And I don't know if we've seen Lewis come out of this game. He's going to have to go the whole game, I think, for the Raiders.
Number 33, Mark Seeger, blocked under the basket. Lewis, the inside jumper, falls through.
15 points on the night. Raiders need him to come up huge, and he has been so far. It's 33-26 now.
Right there, just breaking down the defense. Seeger wide open on the baseline. He had a step before the Raiders were even on him. Mangano fires the inside jumper. Good!
Seven-point deficit, 35-28, 3:53 in the third quarter.
Opalka up top to Koltzoff. Colts off holding it. Over to Wapalka.
Wise choice by the Bulldogs right here. They're really slowing down the tempo of the game. Just as the Raiders are getting some momentum, too. Raiders, as of yet, unable to force anything.
And a timeout called on the Bulldogs bench.
A lot of Raiders fans wanted that to be a travel. Very close. But the refs gave them a timeout, and you can't really argue that.
Yep. So, Raiders fighting back, but Bulldogs employing the stall tactic that so many teams have used against the Raiders this season, trying to stop any momentum that the Raiders had.
And they're especially vulnerable now that they're down. They can't just sit out a lead. They got to start making things happen.
Exactly. You know.
Oh, of course, there's still a lot of time in the third quarter.
Right.
No need to get gun shy or anything.
But, you're exactly right. Got to start getting things to happen and get the game close to what it was early in the first quarter.
Phil Rogers back on the floor. And the Raiders fans rally behind their players.
Morgan Lewis telling people, get up.
You see a lot of these gurus, these basketball gurus, these old men that have just been playing basketball their whole lives. They're all here. They're all excited. They're all cheering them on. It's great to see.
Opalka up top to Frangemore. Off Lewis's foot. Good defense. It was said many times that the Raiders won their game against Kenson Wednesday night for Chris Crawford. They said that they were going to take it as far as they possibly could in the postseason, all for him. Certainly, I wouldn't be surprised if that was mentioned there in the timeout.
Yeah. 2:49 now in the third quarter. 35-28 is still the score.
Long shot, no good. Rebounded by Rogers. That's where Rogers helped the Raiders out against Kenson, hauling in the rebounds. Not a big scorer. There's Rogers who puts up the cleat up.
Rogers stepping up. He did well in the Kenson game. He can do well for the Raiders. I think he's getting in a little rhythm.
Frangemore getting mauled. Yeah, that's Frangemore. Shot no good, but he's going to the line, shooting two.
That foul is on Andrew Booth. Rogers playing his position pretty well.
Frangemore's first no good.
35-30, 2:26 in the third period.
Swishes the second.
That is Frangemore's 8th point of the night. He leads all scorers on the floor.
Well, that's right. Long shot from Mangano, no good. Rebounded by Aston.
Yeah, nice hustle right there. Getting that long rebound. Even though the Raiders didn't score, Morgan Lewis, again, making plays. He penetrated hard, got the ball moving, gave them a chance really for an open shot.
Mangano pushing the ball down, taking it to the hole, spins in the paint, up, good! Nice move right there, nice take by Julian Mangano.
Raiders are scorching, they're coming back, and they're not going to let the Bulldogs stall it out anymore. They're playing fuller court.
And pump fake utilized by Matt Pitlick.
Got Rogers off his feet. It's 38-32 now, 125.
Lewis for three, no good.
Going the Raiders' way. The fans are behind them, just like the Indians of the mid-'90s. When your fans get behind you,
right.
They really get on a roll. They feed off the crowd's energy a lot.
Raiders have been pulling up for the threes tonight, but they've only drained one. Spikes in the paint. Spikes, shot, no good. Foul.
Number 21. That'll be
couldn't be number 21 unless.
I guess he is unlisted in our book.
They're saying that it was on Andrew Booth. So
an interesting call made. I honestly thought it went against Cortland.
Yeah, that's what it appeared to be. Booth's first of the night.
None of the Raiders in any real foul trouble.
No.
Spikes was early on, but he hasn't gotten any fouls since. Only 2.
Right, he's sitting in a pretty good position. Pitlick out top to Koltzoff. Frangemore into the paint. Makowicz airballs the 3.
Not a good shot to shoot when your fans are chanting, "We are Lakeview."
No.
Kind of ironic right there. 45 seconds. The Raiders are still down by 6, 38-32.
Mangano stepping inside. We are Harvey. Mangano coming through in a big way for the Raiders right there. Makowicz blocked by Spikes.
Great save right there by Aston as well.
Right.
23 seconds. I think they'll look for the last shot. They could cut the deficit to 2 or even 1.
Mangano out to Lewis. Lewis for 3.
Good! 38-37 on a huge drain from Morgan Lewis. His 18th point of the night. 7 seconds left. Cortland's going to look for 1 shot, but the Raiders are going to pressure them all the way.
Number 20 Matthews fires for 3. No good. That ends the third quarter. Raiders drawing near. Down by 1 now. 38-37.
So the Raiders are down by a point, but all the momentum is going their way. The entire mass of Raider fans is on their feet, cheering the players on.
They're all standing up.
Every single one of them. The Red Raiders are feeling really good right now. I'm sure they're going to come out firing in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you know what? This is the final quarter. They're looking at it as the last 8 minutes that they could play this season. We've got some seniors. This could be the last 8 minutes of their high school career. Morgan Lewis, Andrew Booth, Mick Rowan, Phil Rogers, all getting valuable time tonight. You know, they don't want to see it end.
That's part of what gives these tournament games such an allure. These are many players' last game ever. Every team that loses, somebody's last game ever.
Right.
It's an incentive to play really, really hard, and these teams are both going to come out just duking it out in the fourth quarter. But right now, the Red Raiders, this is like Angels in the outfield moment. Everybody on the
Angels in the outfield. All right. Fired up. Things are hot right here at Madison High School. Julian Mangano. The ball on the wing. Stepping inside. Pass is lost to Koltzoff. Koltzoff taking the ball to the hole. Dishes off. Charge called. Andrew Booth takes the charge.
So I went quiet in there for a second on the steal, but the fans are right back there with the Raiders. 38-37, 7:44 remains in the game. The last game of the season for one of these teams.
Mangano for 3. No good. Whistle blown.
Foul called. I believe it will be against Cortland.
Number 22, Dustin Opalka.
So the second foul of the half for Cortland Lakeview.
Oh, no, the foul's on number 44, Matt Pitlick. His first of the night. Lewis deep inbounds pass to Aston. Aston in the paint, fires. No good, off back iron. And that call going Raiders' way.
Set the clock at 7:24, so 2 quick fouls against Cortland Lakeview. That one will be, that will be against Andrew Booth. The indication was that it was against the Bulldogs.
Call got reversed.
It did get reversed. And you can see it in the fans' faces too. They fell really quick when they reversed that call.
And Morgan Lewis denies Frangemore. Booth dumps it into Spikes. Spikes.
Called with. Wow, called with a charge. This man is getting his name changed to Boo. Everybody in the stands is booing him. Wow.
Spikes is third of the night.
Thought maybe a travel, but I didn't really see a charge there. 6:57 now. 38-37. Still no score in the fourth quarter.
Opalka. Hit with the travel. Andrew Booth inbounds to Aston. Morgan Lewis deep on the wing. Over to Mangano. Mangano to Aston. Raiders still down by one, 38-37, 6:29 left in the ball game. Lewis open for three. Good! Raiders up by two.
How did he do that? That was way downtown. That was, wow.
Well, he's heating up. That's what's happening. Answered by Dustin Opalka with the inside jumper.
21 points on the night for Morgan Lewis. That was unreal how deep that was.
Scott Aston with a nice take to the hole.
Aston takes a good time to get on the board. 40-42. Raiders are up.
Three ball from Opalka.
And wow, all of a sudden they just start scoring. This is incredible. After like a minute and a half, they just pull out all the stops and start hitting shots.
Spikes good off the glass.
44-43. These teams are rapid firing. 8 points on the night for Jeff Spikes. 5.5 minutes in the fourth quarter.
Who's it going to be? Opalka. Somebody stop him.
Why not? This is a snowball, folks. 46-44 in favor of Cortland Lakeview. 5:21 in the fourth quarter.
Mangano for three. No good.
And heat check.
Yeah.
Heat check comes up no good.
So that's the first time either team has failed to score on their possession for a few possessions deep.
Even though it was actually only like 30 seconds.
Right. Pitlick loses the ball to Aston. Aston pushing down. Taken to the hole. Aston goes coast to coast.
And it's all tied up. 46-46, 4:45 remaining in the game. The last game of the season for one of these teams.
Pitlick gives it up to Koltzoff. Koltzoff high on the wing.
4.5 minutes in the game.
Rebounded by Spikes. Morgan Lewis for three. Morgan Lewis good! Oh man, Morgan Lewis. Look at him go. 4 threes on the night for Morgan Lewis. 3 of them in this second half.
Morgan Lewis is having a huge game tonight. 24 points. The Raiders are up 49-46. 4:18 remains in the fourth quarter, and these guys are on fire right now. The fans are behind them. Everyone is excited, and right now the Raiders have momentum. They've got to keep it going.
Right. You know what? They've just lighting it up. I mean, Scott Aston coming on a few long drives. Just nice drives to the hole, finding his lane, making his lane, laying it up off the glass like it's nothing. Morgan Lewis coming alive in three land, just drilling them like it's nothing. It's phenomenal. I mean, the Raiders have a fire lit under them right now that they just really lacked in the first half. It's great to see. It's what it's going to take. Raiders up by 3, 49-46. Let's take a quick look at our sponsors while we have a break in the action. First, we have Micro and Concrete.
Next, of course, is Fisher Building and Interiors.
Flaming Grill on Menor Avenue.
Followed by Convenient.
A Classic Florist.
Next is Palutro Insurance.
Scores Fun Center and Lasertron.
And, of course, as always, our cleanup hitter, Silvestro's Depot Cafe. For great food, make it Silvestro's. Bill Rogers will be getting some more time on the floor. He's had a couple rebounds, a couple points tonight.
Raiders taking a little bit extra time there in the huddle. Lakeview has possession. Called a timeout after Lewis drained his 4th 3 of the night.
And some old men that can't walk very well, I think they've just gotten their new legs. You cannot see it, but there's some old.
They're going to be doing laps.
There's some old guys with cans standing up and cheering right now.
Number 20, Matthews, taking the ball baseline, goes up. No good. Ball goes out of bounds. Off the hands of number 25, Makowicz. Could have gone, it could have gone against Rogers or Makowicz, but ruled in favor of the Raiders.
Yeah, Butters had a lot better position right there.
Butters. That's the first time we've called Phil that on air. Butters is Phil's nickname, especially during tennis season. Rogers is the first singles player on the Raiders tennis squad.
3.5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. The Raiders on top by 3 on the strength of a long 3-pointer by Morgan Lewis, who was just stroking them tonight.
Opalka nearly loses it. Makowicz with the ball up top against Lewis. Addie Makowicz passes over on the wing to Frangimore. Frangimore dumps it in to Makowicz.
Good defense right there by Rogers and Booth.
Frangimore denied by Booth. And Scott Aston hauls it in. Going the length, stops, fires. Good! Oh man, Scott Aston.
He stops, he pops, and the Raiders are on top by 5, 2:47 now. The Raiders up 51-46.
Opalka fired for 3, no good. Opalka was stroking the jump shots earlier in this half. And Scott Aston nearly saves the ball from going out of bounds right there. Came out of nowhere, really. Caught Opalka off guard.
Jeff Spikes checks back into the game. He's already glistening with sweat. 2.5 minutes. I would expect to see this team finish it out, but you never know.
Timeout called on the Raiders bench. Going into the timeout, Harvey up by 5, 51-46.
And there's some Coliseum cheering going on right now. This is insane, man. Everybody is on their feet. And the Red Raiders fans are all behind their team all the way right now. Five seconds left with the timeout, and the Red Raiders just about to get underway. These coaches, I'm sure, all very proud of their players right now. That short man you see in the red shirt, that is Coach Marlon Wallen. He coaches the JV.
The short man?
Yeah. Rest of the coaches, I'll tell us about that at some other time.
Opalka shot way off. He's smiling about that one. I mean, he muscled that one almost. It was very high and missed very long. Booth taking it to the hole, up off the glass, and good. Makowicz shot no good, into the hands of Opalka. Opalka fading away, no good. Makowicz, no good. Andrew Booth picks it up.
Under 2 minutes now, the Raiders are on top, 53-46. All the momentum has shifted. Once they were down by as much as 11, they're now up by 7, and time keeps ticking down. Time is on their side now.
Scott Aston taking the ball off the Spikes. Spikes cutting baseline, puts it up and in.
9-point lead on the great pass. Great footwork by Scott Aston and Jeff Spikes. Raiders up by 9 with a minute 30 to go in the game.
Ooh. Raiders up 9. Shot no good. Into the hands of Mangano. Raiders rebounding, coming alive. Raiders defense. I mean, their whole defensive game is just lighting it up.
Yeah, like I was going to say, on the other hand, Lakeview cannot buy a shot. Really everything going the Raiders' way right now.
Foul called on number 25, Eddie Makowicz. team third. Makowicz second.
Neither team in very much foul trouble. Raiders have 5, but I wouldn't expect to see them hit the penalty.
And the Bulldogs are starting to foul.
They have a lot of fouls to give.
Right. Yeah, the Raiders aren't going to be shooting for 3 more fouls. .112 left in the ball game. Raiders up 9. Morgan Lewis fouled by number 10. That's Alex Koltzoff.
And I guess I like this out of Cortland. They're being decisive. They're not going to wait for it to run out of 30 seconds. Different strategy could have gone a different way, but this is their season on the line, and they're going to foul.
And Mangano gets fouled. That foul on number 25, Makowicz, his third.
You know, some coaches would say go for the strip, go for the ball. They're saying make them shoot it, make them hit the free throws, and right here they're probably going to try to get the ball to Julian Mangano because he's an excellent foul shooter. You want him shooting if you're the Red Raiders.
Right, Mangano, he's a very good foul shooter.
Yeah, so the Raiders are on top by 9 with 1:09 left in the game.
1 more foul out of the Bulldogs, and the Raiders will be shooting 1-1. But they're gonna, if the Raiders have the ball and they're not anywhere close to turning the ball over, Cortland's gonna keep fouling, and at this rate, 4 more fouls, and the Raiders are shooting 2. Two out of the last 4 years, the Raiders have been knocked out of this tournament by the Cortland Lakeview Bulldogs.
So a win would make it
getting people up.
Yeah, a win would make it all the sweeter. And for the first time in a while, they could advance to sectionals and maybe go a little ways there.
And Morgan Lewis gets fouled. Makowicz, his 4th, so they could be sacrificing him.
And after the game, provided that things continue in the same vein, there's a lot of game left to play, obviously, as Cortland's going to continue to foul. But there will be a net cutting ceremony, so we'll be sticking around for that if indeed the Raiders do come away with a win.
Lewis's foul shot no good. Lewis saves the ball from going out of bounds, kicks it out to Booth. And Booth trying to get rid of the ball before he's fouled. Doesn't quite get it off on time, but Booth's going to the line. And Makowicz fouls out for the Bulldogs.
So Andrew Booth has a chance to push the lead to double digits and beyond.
Makowicz finished the night with 6 points. Checking in for him is number 20, Trevor Matthews.
.101 on the clock, and the Raiders really in a dominating position right now.
And these Cortland fans, they're crossing the line. I don't like that at all. They're really laying down the slams. I don't like that. That's just disrespectful what they're saying. Raiders fans doing very well tonight. They're positive. They're cheering on our team.
And the Raiders are up by 10. They're letting their actions speak for themselves, so we need not comment on that further. The Raiders are up 56-46, minute 1 remaining in the 4th quarter.
Booth drills his second. Raiders up 11. A minute even left. Opalka loses the ball to Lewis. Lewis fouled by number 10, Trevor Matthews. Matthews 4th, team 8th.
So while Lakeview fans are thinking up something witty to say, we'll see Morgan Lewis shoot a couple of free throws as things are getting more solidly assured for Red Raiders right now.
Lewis hits his first. Raiders up by 12.
25th point of the night for Morgan Lewis, who we haven't seen him score this much. We saw this early in the season, but he played very well for the team, just doing what he had to do and averaging around 21, 22 points a game. Coming away with a big night tonight. I expect to see him score more.
Right. Koltzoff shot no good. Koltzoff again with it no good. Pitlick fouled on the shot going to the line. 43.9 seconds left in the ball game. It's going to take something big for the Bulldogs to pull off this 12-point deficit with 45 seconds left. Looking promising for the Raiders. Misses his first free throw. Andrew Booth eager to go in and get that rebound. Now he's laughing about it with the ref.
Jeff Spikes will be checking in. I'm sorry. Switching spots with Andrew Booth.
Pitlick hits his second.
58-47. That's Pitlick's 10th of the night.
Booth to Lewis. Lewis quickly gets fouled.
So Lakeview is sticking with their strategy. It makes for a longer game, but you certainly can't argue it. The Raiders keep making their free throws, though, which is what the Lakeview is obviously saying they're going to do. They're going to make them hit the free throws, but now they're in the double penalty. It's looking a little bit more desperate.
Right, they get two automatically. Lewis good on his first. Back up to a 12-point lead, 59-47. 42.8 left in the game. Lewis at the line for one more. Good! 13-point lead for the Raiders. Koltzoff into the paint, just off to Pitlick. Pitlick loses the ball on the floor. Ball in the air. Number 35 for the Bulldogs fires for three. Good. That's Kevin Copenhaver.
60-50. Copenhagen gets called for the foul. That's his first of the night. I believe Booth will be going to the line and shooting two. No, the foul will be against Andrew Booth. That's 3 times tonight. I thought the foul was going against him, against Cortland Lakeview, and it did go against Andrew Booth. That actually the indication was on the floor, but then they changed it again to Andrew Booth with the foul. 21.5 seconds. The Red Raiders still in a very commanding position.
These refs are teasing us. Copenhaver hits his foul shot. One more.
Raiders are in the penalty, as you can obviously tell. That's their 7th.
Rebound by Mangano. And he's fouled by Frangemore. Mangano, good person for the Raiders to be at the line.
Yes, of course.
19.7 seconds left in the game. Raiders up by 9, 60-51. Mangano's going to look to push the lead to 11.
As if you follow the arc of the ball, you can see, I know we do have some fan interference. And again, just attribute that to the great mass of
packed
people.
house tonight. Mangano hits his second.
Back to a 10-point lead. 18 seconds now. Time on the Raiders side, definitely. Cortland Lakeview, 12 seconds.
Copenhaver shot no good. Ball out of bounds. Ref at first ruled a jump ball. And, well, you look at that. Up in the mezzanine level. Harvey fans have a sign that says Canton bound. Shot high. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. Time is stopped with a half a second left. Your Red Raiders up by 10. We're going to Canton.
And 1,000-strong fans on their feet cheering the Raiders on. They are definitely Canton-bound.
That's the end of the game. Your Red Raiders, district champions. A swarm going on the hardwood right now. This is the first district championship the Raiders have had in I don't know how long.
And that's got to be a great feeling right there for the Raiders.
You know what? A great way to extend this just a great season. You know what, the Raiders, words can't really describe the season. This team has done so much for the school, for the community. I mean, there's just a sense of unity that isn't always there. Scotty Aston showing off his stuff.
And this community, as you were saying, does show that it will rally behind a winner. Everyone excited. Nobody is left out. There's a couple people leaving, but still many strong, just standing, waiting for something to happen, waiting for the celebration to continue in this gym.
Red Raiders fans singing, "We are the champions."
If you asked a lot of these people, I'm sure they'd tell you this is the best place on earth right now. They wouldn't rather be anywhere than here.
There you see the gentleman on the right side of your screen. He's one of the ones holding up the Canton Bound sign.
So if we could just get a close-up of the team.
Yeah, if we could get our camera up on the team. I know we do have this fan interference, but you know, we'd certainly love to have him. Love to have our main cameraman, Victor Presley. He's been running the camera for you tonight.
And yeah, Victor Presley really working hard to get that right there.
There you see Chris Crawford standing there on the crutches. He's really been just, you know, in a lot of pain with his injury, but he still came out to the game. Obviously, he's been a huge part of this team. Had to come out and support his boys. And, you know, I have to think that he's a big, even though he wasn't playing tonight, he's a big part of the reason that the Raiders won tonight.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Let's win it for Chris. They've said it, you know, several times over.
Right, they all want to win it for themselves, but that just adds a little something, you know, every little bit that they keep on adding to the story, it just makes it that much sweeter, that much greater to win.
You know, talking about what a great season this has been, let's recap. All right, Raiders started out strong. They didn't get their first loss till January 7th at the hands of the Edgewood Warriors. They were 7-0 at the end of December. Finished the season 19-1. That's better than anybody else in the area.
That's right. Especially the two great wins over Riverside, a double overtime and just a dominating victory in the second meeting. You know, many highlights over the season.
Right.
Morgan Lewis, some fantastic dunks.
He's thrilled us with his dunks. And, you know, now he's got a chance to, you know, do some more. Wasn't they go on to Canton? Chris Crawford came alive later in the season. You know, he was always a dominant force for the Raiders, but really just found his game halfway through the season and just dominated under the boards.
Along with Julian Mangano.
Julian Mangano lightened things up in three-land. He's just got one of the best shots on the team. It's just so fluid. You can't say enough good things about Julian Mangano's ball game. I mean, everybody on this team, really. Scott Aston, he works so hard, day in, day out in practice. It shows in the games. Twice this season, he won the game for the Raiders. Most recently against Kenson, he hit the buzzer beater from 17 feet. Against Riverside, he banked it in off the glass with 2 seconds left to win in double overtime. I mean, Aston putting up, you know, huge shows for the Raiders. Just really working hard, and it really paid off for him.
That's right. Like all good teams, every great player, like all great teams, every player has a good story about them. You know, Jeff Spikes playing big in a lot of big games.
Spikes, he's a huge force for the Raiders underneath. Nobody can match his size. And we can't forget Andrew Booth. Andrew Booth, one of the team's best defenders, if not the best. he'll just sacrifice everything on the hardwood.
Yeah, time and again, he doesn't get the top billing, but he just does things the team needs to win. Developing, showing that that long shot, that long-range shot right in the postseason that we hadn't seen all season. Playing some great defense on top players in the area, and getting a plain dealer player of the week as well.
Right. Several of the players on the Raiders team have been named players of the week. Julian Mangano has, Chris Crawford has, Morgan Lewis has. I'm there may be some others. Andrew Booth has.
Right. I believe that rounds it out.
I think that probably rounds it out, but really, the Raiders they're full. And here we go. The champion Red Raiders getting their awards.
That's right. Cortland Lakeview has just finished receiving their runner-up prize, and Harvey High School will be receiving their first place. They know how it feels to be in second place. Makes it that much sweeter to come in here and get the victory and go
on. Marcus Bruback getting his medal. Bruback joined the varsity team late in the season. David Alston getting his varsity medal, his tournament medal. Jeff Spikes. Ian King. Sean Carmody getting his.
Sean Carmody bound for Eastern Michigan.
Chris Crawford
drawing huge applause from the fans. Why not? He's a hero. He's a story right now. Everyone on their feet, including you, Tyler, and myself. Everyone loves to see Chris Crawford, especially after what happened in this game.
Exactly.
Next is Mick Rowan, team captain, plays hard for every sport he's in. Fans love him. Markel Gaston.
Devon Johnson.
He saw a lot of time and contributed. He was about the seventh man.
Phil Rogers coming through big rebounds, putting up a few points. Julian Mangano.
He found his stroke at the right time, doing great for us in the postseason. Did well all season, great in the postseason.
Scott Aston.
Nobody has left, folks. Everybody is still here. There's at least 600 strong in these stands, if not more.
I'd say more.
Andrew Booth. Cortland Lakeview, despite some of the comments they made earlier, still being very gracious in defeat.
Right. Morgan Lewis. Cheers erupting for the man, Morgan Lewis. Head coach Tim Starkey. Coach Starkey, a resident of Madison.
And I believe they'll be getting their first place plaque right now. Big moment. And all the seniors gather around to grab it, including Chris Crawford as well.
Morgan Lewis hoisting it up there. Look what I found, Mom.
A captive audience cheering at every little move the Raiders have, and why not? It's been a great season. They came in with really high expectations, and they've lived up to them to this point.
Athletic director here at Madison High School, Jim Pinelli, pulling out the ladder.
And we'll see that in just a second as soon as we shift the camera over there. Jeff Spikes.
Spikes was the first one to cut down the net the last time.
So a great feeling right now as Spikes works it a little bit and gets the first part off.
Spikes taking a chunk for himself.
That's a little piece of nylon that you will hold for a long time.
Right. You saw the one on the necklace that he was wearing as he went up to cut. That's from the NEC championship. Devon Johnson taking his share. Scott Aston hoisting the trophy.
And we have an advantage over the major networks, folks. We don't have to go anywhere. We can stay here and give you the celebration until it's all through. Julian Mangano next to cut it down. Mick Rowan next on the basket. Just a great season. And it's not over.
Ian King taking his cuts.
Yeah.
Right. Long way to go. David Alston. Jinx.
Not on this team, there's not.
Marcus Bruback.
His brother Zach with the varsity team last year.
Varsity team last year. Unfortunately, Zach had to watch as this was going on when West G got it. The Raiders, you know what? Tonight, I had my doubts when we were down by 7 going into halftime. They worked it to being down only 1 going into the 4th, and then ended up winning by 10. But 61-51 final.
You know what? Our 6th man, all you fans, there's Sean Carmody. You guys really came through, whether you were here in attendance or whether you were just, part of the support squad. The fans really rallied behind the Raiders. It's Andrew Booth right now, I believe.
It might be Markel Gaston.
I'm sorry, that is Markel Gaston. Booth, of course, has his warm-up jersey off. Next is Phil Rogers.
Rogers just taking some off the bottom.
Not a lot left to cut.
No. I expect they'll save that for Booth and Lewis. Andrew Booth taking his cuts. Keeping in peace for himself.
And here, we have Damian Spikes.
Damian Spikes, he served as the team's water boy.
Big part of the team, man. The cheers are breaking out. But those are just a prelude to what is about to happen in just a couple seconds. Damian will remember that for a long time.
Yeah, he really will. He's got as much heart as anyone else on the team. Morgan Lewis climbing his ladder. Takes the final snip.
And the Raiders have done it. They have won, and they are going on to Canton, folks.
That game is on Thursday night down at Canton. Now we're coming down to this end of the ball court.
This is something I didn't know. I guess they get to cut off both.
Right, they do both of them.
So maybe a little bit anticlimax, but they're going to keep cutting them down, folks. This is great for just everyone involved.
Lewis the first to go this time. Next, Mick Rowan.
Oh, I believe that maybe the school gets this one to
to
preserve.
Yeah. I think that's it. They'll put it around the trophy.
They're just going to unhook this one, keep it intact, and then the school will have a nice memento as well.
Right. Something to be very proud of when it goes into the trophy case.
And I guess they decided that 2 team captains will be doing the honors. Certainly both players played their heart out. Next is Phil Rogers.
And they have ropes set up lining the sidelines so that people can't get on the court, but somehow they're pushing the rope.
just further and further back.
Sean Carmody taking his cuts.
And Andrew Booth will, I believe, get the last notch. Why not? Andrew Booth has been great all season. And wherever he goes for college, good luck, good wishes go out to him.
Andrew puts it around his neck. And the Raiders going down court. Got a team huddle going. Fans starting to chant HHS.
That's all the nostalgia surrounding it, folks.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're all seeing that ghost image or if it's just our monitor here, but Red Raiders, district tournament champions for the 2004-2005 season.
So, a great job by the Raiders. I think we said all we could say. Just let the game and the players' actions speak for themselves. Don't know what is going to be going on after this. The players are walking off the court.
Right.
The fans will just be celebrating now. Great job all around.
We are going to have Morgan Lewis coming up to speak with us. Getting stopped by several people, wishing him all the best, saying congratulations.
And here he is, so I'll turn it over to him.
Morgan, congratulations, man. You know what? You guys have worked so hard all season.
Yeah.
Tournament champions. Here, why don't we stand up so we can see us on camera? We're right up here. You know, looking back on the season, it's taken a lot sometimes for you guys to get to this point in the season. You know, what do you have to say about the season to get you guys here?
I just think it's a lot of not just the will to win. Obviously, we have the talent as past Harvey teams have, but we had discipline this year, and we listened. We were very coachable. And although, I mean, people look at me as a superstar or whatever, but anyone on this team can score and take over a game at will.
Really?
And we all trust each other, trust our coaches. And who's ever house getting the ball, if it's me, Julian, Jeff, Scott, I mean, it's not just a team, it's a family with us. We love each other on and off the court, and we support each other and everything.
Really? You know, you guys, you really are. You're like a family, and you can see that on the court. You can see that when you're walking through the halls at school. Let's talk about tonight. 1-3 in the first half. You guys' shooting really wasn't working for you in the first half. Second half, you came out and drained 3 in very rapid succession. What happened over the half?
Well, in the first half, I mean, the situation, I mean, the pressure. This is the first time a lot of these guys have been in this kind of situation. This many fans, all this going on. I mean, regional champs or district champs about to go to regionals. That's not happened in a while. And at the first half, we were arguing and bickering a lot. I mean, stuff wasn't really going right. We were rushing our shots and trying to win the game in the first quarter, I think our problem was. But when the halftime, sat down, talked, Mr. Wallen gave us a nice speech. Okay. And we just came together like the family we are. And we came out and played lockdown defense, and offense came out along with it. Yeah,
I know Coach Walling certainly has his way with words, and he can get you to change what's going wrong. Well, we're gonna let you go back and celebrate with your team. Okay. This is some nice neckwear right here.
This is a little
I like
nice
that.
too.
This
bling,
one,
bling.
nice and shiny right here. It's blinding me. All right, man. Congratulations.
All right,
great season,
Ty.
man.
Thank you.
Keep it going. All right, welcome back, Logan. You just heard it from Morgan Lewis. Great team discipline this year. Just a really great season. Strong play the whole way through. Raiders are now at 23-1 on the entire season. Final score tonight, your Red Raiders knock off the Cortland Lakeview Bulldogs 61-51. They'll travel to Canton for the regional tournament. Their first game is on Thursday. I won't be able to bring you that game. I'll be competing at the state mock trial competition, but certainly if we are able to take the truck down, take our mobile production facility down, then Logan will have somebody right there by his side calling the game, and we will be able to bring you that game. But if you get a chance, go to Canton, make the trip, and support our guys. It's going to be a big game.
Yeah, so good luck to you, Tyler, in mock trial. And if we are able to bring you that game, I will be there and bringing it to you as best as I can.
That's right. Final score tonight, 61-51. Your Red Raiders, district tournament champions, knocking off the Cortland Lakeview Bulldogs. That's it from Madison High School. I'm Tyler Camiotti.
And I'm Logan Repko.
Thank you for watching.